Last series was all about finding Furax. Now let's see what kind of title will Riku say for series number 2. We'll be your casters for that series. Even though we guys saw a best of 5, now we are defaulting back to our best of 3s.
Yeah, it is now back to the lower bracket, the finals this time around, as we get to see, BKR duke it out against BAL Esport, as we get to see, Kid, Sector, Shikimori, Prince, Victor, and for BAL, we've got Knight, Spec, Gandalf, Katze, and Gariban.
So now we saw the usual Olaf lineup, and then we've been seeing a lot of Dianas in series number 1. Let's see, will we be seeing more of those champions, or are we gonna go back to the Ash ADC, Ziggs APC? A lot of things definitely will be available in the board and even in the pool. So now, without further ado, let's jump into the pick and ban phase.
Maybe we'll get to see the Ash, maybe the pick composition, depending if the Sinzao will be banned, just like what we saw in the Cut Esports versus GK Esports series. But BKR, they don't want this. They don't want the Camille coming in. I mean, it's a big high value pick. The fact that you can flex it in 2 different lanes. BAL, of course, they don't want the Gragas in, meaning that potentially they can pick Assassins. They can potentially pick the Akali as well. We'll see though if BAL will decide to take that off immediately. Asterius will be banned. I'm guessing a Renekton could possibly be for BKR, because I feel like level 1s, level 3s for a Renekton versus a Darius pick can be a little bit awkward.
True, and on top of that, they also eliminated Olaf, another Brand laner slash jungler that just excels in these 1v1s. I was about to say Ziggs is open, but looks like BAL do not want to let that champion go. They do not want quick fights, and you mentioned this, Xinjiang being open, BKR immediately getting their hands on that, and BAL answers with a neutralizer, which is Garen.
Yeah, this is basically them saying, okay, your instant neutralizer, once a Sinzao will come in, it's just easy silence. And if BKR also decides to pick up an Akali, then there's an answer. There's basically an easy answer. Corki now being picked up. We've seen how the mid to late game, wait a minute, this is going to be a double AD carry, Corki mid, and of course have Varus in the mid lane. We've seen the Cerildus being prioritized for the Varus just because of the utility it brings. It's kind of like having an Ashe for your team, I suppose. In the meantime, Wukong will get picked up. I'm not going to be surprised if it's a Diana finish for BAL with their Wombo combo with Cyclone and the Moonfall.
Yeah, after the knockup, you will immediately see a very good Moonfall coming through from Diana, but the support will be Braum, and you call this. Renekton has been locked in for the side of BKR. Let's see if that is going to be a Diana pick. And Riku predictions on point 2021. That is going to be the last champion for the side of BAL.
Yeah, this is a good 2-man. Mid jungle, we're talking about the big setup. Cyclone on top of Moonfall or vice versa. And with a tidal wave as well for the big engage to make sure that the Kaisa and the Garen is able to catch up. So this is a very strong mid to late game composition in a 5v5 scenario. So I'm curious as well. On the opposite side, we saw a Renekton. That means they're hoping the Renekton to bully out the lane. But because it's a Garen matchup, the Renekton will need more help than the 1v1.
I mean, it's definitely difficult to take down Garen with all that tankiness. Plus, we know how much damage he will have in the latter parts of the game, in these 15 or 16-minute mark. But you guys have the picks and bans. Let's just hop into game number 1. Right, again, the first game for our best of 3s, the usual lane phase, and it is going to be a mid lane Corki. I am actually looking forward to seeing how Renekton will play it out in the early game, but looks like we have a 4 champion unit here. Winter's Bite will see no one. You have Nami, you have Kaisa, and to the sides, that is going to be the person hour coming through for this Varus, but no one is actually gonna commit just yet. Again, Diana Corki will have their own little world into the mid lane. This is going to be a fight of who will be able to scale first.
Yeah, it's the Corki being on this melee and range matchup. Of course, Corki will be able to get a good foothold in the mid lane, possibly maybe even getting priority. And with that said, the little tussle with that level 1, maybe it's an attempt because they do have a Braum, which just automatically gives you a very strong level 1 setup. Maybe burn a summoner spell or 2. And now for the bottom portion of the map, or rather, yes, for the bottom portion of the map, this dual lane, actually good news for Katse. He does have that sustain and the healing coming from the Nami, so he wouldn't be too worried too much about the piercing arrows that Prince will dish out in the laning phase.
It's okay. Like, if Kaisa gets damaged, I have the heals, I have the ebb and flow, and if ever they decide to just overextend, you have the bubble, the Aqua Prison Brom. Don't I think he is gonna try and take a vision into the side of the mid lane. Corki being able to push Diana back. That is gonna be Wukong lurking to the sides. You have the Crescent being sent out by Diana. It's gonna be jump in onto this Corki. No full commitments just yet. Ebb and flow is gonna come through, but you have Brom with the Unbreakable.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of safe and just disengage over here. And for Savage, this could be the first gank. No, it misses, unfortunately.
Too
And
close.
Gandalf is still gonna be safe for now.
And I thought that was actually the first kill going over to BKR, but apparently playing it safe is gonna work wonders into the early game. Renekton is gonna fall back for now. Now you have Wukong just getting the buff. Pretty standard rotations here as well. I guess they just want to wrap up on the gold, even in the items. Piercing Hour is gonna come through, connecting onto no champion, but looks like they're gonna focus on clearing out the wave.
Yeah, there's a lot of wave clear involved with the piercing arrow, just as you mentioned. And in the mid lane, I believe it was an ignite dropping on towards Gandalf there. I could be wrong. Either it is just Shikimori getting the phosphorus bombs on towards the Gandalf, and he should be careful because it's a Wukong. It's a Wukong paired with Gandalf on this Diana. A gank could possibly happen. A counter gank could possibly happen. And once the chain of CC connects, actually, I wonder
Here
what
it goes.
the good stuff is here. Oh no, the Moonfall is.
Oh no, okay. I guess he thought that Corki was gonna jump in or just pop the Valkyrie, so he just made sure to pop the Moonfall if ever that is gonna happen. He also used Lunar Rush earlier on, so he had no other way for disengage. He did not want to use Flash this early on, given that the Dragon or Rift Herald will be up in a few more seconds.
Yeah, that's true. It's better safe to just keep that, especially against a Xin jungle. Xin will constantly try to find these opportunities to enable a skirmish, to see if they can find a gank. Especially, we talked about this, level 3, level 5, pretty good spikes for BKR. And so far, the Great Neutralizer doing its work. Knight is keeping this Renekton in check. And if you keep the Renekton in check, Renekton will go past its prime. It's just going to basically get shredded in the later stages of the game, like Gatze here on this Kaisa. So that means that's one minus win condition down for BKR.
Silence plus that judgment, and you have Garen just holding his ground. You have the Call of the Meal being popped. Stuns are gonna come through, but no actual commitments. Actually, both of them even popped recall at the right time. Rip Herald plus, of course, the Ocean Drake is now up. Blue team already have their eyes on this dragon, but Diana, Nami, as well as Kaisa and Wukong slowly making their way into the dragon's pit. And with that, two things. BKR, they could try and steal the dragon or just opt with the Rip Herald. But for now, looks like they want to see a fight. They want to get the first dragon. Piercing Arrow has been sent out. Wukong still has his Cyclone. They are still hiding this one out. Ocean Drake will be at a reset. And still pretty stalemate for these two teams. No one pulling the trigger just yet. You have the Crescent Strike being sent out by Diana, but no actual jump-ins just yet.
Yeah, BAL is just waiting for the package to expire from Shikimori for them to comfortably take on this dragon contest. And now they're getting poked out by BAL though.
It's gonna be jumping correctly onto the. You have the tidal wave coming through. You also have the Moonfall. Red first kill going over to the red team. Now you have Brom saying goodbye. That is gonna be the Gatling being used. But Diana, she wants to get that early game kill. A double kill going over to this champion. The lead that the red team wanted. That was a 4-0 in favor of BAL. Plus they got the Ocean Drake and the first outer mid lane turret.
That is a massive start. Double kill for both of the carries of BAL, for Gatze and Gandalf. That is huge. And BAL can just easily transition that for the next fight. Get the resets, get more items on the board, then go to the Rift Herald. We can see that Knight is slowly lingering around the corner, becoming that human ward. Gandalf, though, will try to get that split push in. They get First Blood Tower, but now that BKR is starting this Rift Herald and the rest of BAL are nowhere nearby, that means they're going to concede this, but it's fine because they do get First Blood Tower.
Now that is going to be BKR trying to even things out, so let's take a look at the previous fight in the Dragon's Pit.
This is a beautiful cyclone. Oh dear, that Wukong cyclone into the tidal wave was just massive, and it enabled basically Gandalf and as well as the Kaisa to keep going. It was just a perfect setup for that. That's just beautiful. It's one of the best cyclones so far we've seen in the August of the Origin series.
We could be seeing more of that because now BAL is definitely online. 0-5 on the scoreboard. A lot of things are in their favor, but still for the side of BKR, it is kind of early. They could just wait for. I mean, they are running the double ADC. Of course, in the earlier parts of the game, it's gonna be pretty passive, pretty conservative. They just need to stretch the game as long as they can, but they also need to keep in mind of Renekton's power spike. Now, do you have the Dragon Lane duo making their way up into the Baron lane just as I talked about Renekton? Voidseeker is not gonna connect though. They do not have the wave. They could just rotate over to the mid lane. Wukong does have Cyclone, but I don't think they are gonna try and commit with the pickoff.
Yeah, BKR. This is them gonna having to try to play that defense because Savage unfortunately didn't get any opportunity, any successful ganks in the early game, and as well as unfortunately as well as the Renekton didn't get those early kills, and now he falls from this 3-man collapse from BAL.
That was too fast. So, BKR, BAL rather, they knew that the members of BKR are here at the Dragon Lane side. Now you have the knockups coming through. Forky was forced to jump away with the Gatling gun. A lot of resources being bursted down. Wuka say goodbye, and they have a jump in coming through for Xin Zhao, and he was able to get the double kill. Garen being bursted down. Aside from getting those 2 kills, they will be able to get these 2 turrets.
That's value right there for the Rift Herald. Not only getting a second charge on that inner tower, but also getting 2 extra kills on the board. This is what Savage wants. This is what will enable the 1-3-1 that we were talking about. But let's take a look at the replay. Again, at top side, this is Sector not being able to do much. He dives in, wanting to get a wave clear on the tower, but there's just too much damage. You're facing the 2 most fed members on BAL's side. But at the end of the spectrum, though, they're able to get at least a kill or 2 for Savage there. So I think they can leverage on that and see where that takes them.
Where will it take them indeed? But now Kai's sitting at a level 10. Piercing arrow. Yes, it was supposed to hurt, but he is going to be A-okay. Xin Zhao still holding his ground into the base. Infernal Drake will be up in 25 seconds. Garen is pretty far from where his teammates are. And BAL looks like they just want to get some more damage in, more items in. And BKR is still on the hunt. They could try and look for Nami. They could try and hunt for Kaisa. But I guess they would just want to focus on forcing these full-on 5v5s like right now. But again, they need to be very wary of the possible Moonfall. Lunar Rush plus Moonfall is one of the key combos from BAL Esports.
Yeah, they should plan a ward in the blue buff because that is the place where Spec set up a beautiful cyclone. It could happen again if they start lingering around and starting this dragon without proper vision in the jungle of BAL.
Speaking of start, looks like they want to start something here. That wave is gonna come through. There is no follow-up. The bubble is gonna be sent out as well. Voidseeker will spot 2 champions out. Agathan Rain is gonna connect on to Xin Zhao, but it is gonna be A-okay. Voidseeker is still being sent out again. No one is touching the Infernal Dragon just yet. The Valkyrie has been used by Forky. Piercing Arrow being able to spot Kaisa out, and it looks like the more seconds that pour in, the more advantage that BAL has over this Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the special delivery has expired. That means it's go time for BAL. And look at this zone. They get the Infernal Drake, the second dragon of the game once more, without BKR having to do anything.
That is even Lunar Rush connecting onto one, and you have Kaisa jumping in with the Killer Instinct. Moonfall has been used, but you have Varus just making sure he will not get taken down. He decides to disengage. That is going to be a flash out for Nami, just to make sure that there won't be any Corki or Xin Zhao to burst her down. And 2-6 in scoreboard. BAL still has quite a lead, but BKR, they are able to get some turrets in, and at least they could just wait for their power spike.
Yeah, for BKR, they have this double AD carry setup with only a measly Braum that can disengage for them when things get a little bit too sticky. Now we get to see, again, expecting expecting the Corki to get that second item spiked with the Infinity Edge or Solari Charge Blade first. And now we get to see Prince having his two items. We're rightfully stacked!
Okay, Diana
Kimori!
jumping in. Will you be able to survive that 2v1? That is the BA. Yes, he is still pretty much alive, but he's been going over to Xinjiao. Corki still did not get bursted down there, but now BAL Esports, they could try and get that revenge kill, but BKR, they know how to hold their ground. We already got one kill. Let's not overstay our welcome.
Yeah, that is that is BKR's really nice bait. Gandalf wanted to take that, but at the end of the day, BAL suffered from that. The good news, though, is still BAL is in the lead. There are no objectives to take. There are no exchange. Really sneaky coming from Gandalf, though. He had no backup there, and he was pretty much very forward in the brush, so it was hard for him to escape. And the fact that Savage gets another kill, and he gets a shot down, too. So that's bounty, an extra goal for Savage. And we keep talking about this. That will enable the 4-1, the 1-3-1, actually, with the Sinzao and the Renekton later on, considering that Savage does manage to get that lead. For BAL, they're happy with the 2 Dragon Start for them, and they can keep this going with a Cyclone plus that Moonfall combo.
Prepping myself for the possible one to
Gary
later on,
Bud?
but that is Nami being sent out. Now you have Bronze there by connecting onto one. Plus that Glacial Fissure. Now Nami is just gonna be a little cute green sushi. -1 for the side of BAL Esports and the BKR. They could still try and take down maybe not Wukong. Diana, if she can balance the 1v3, but they are gonna rotate over to the Baron side. You have Kaisa being spot out. Now you have Renekton at the back lines. The Unbreakable has been sent out. Remember, no more Glacial Fissure, so BKR will just jump back.
The good news is there are no objectives to take for that important ult to come back soon, but...
Mid lane though, now you have the Moonfall coming through. Corki being bursted down. He gets annihilated. Now Rampage going over to Kaisa. IK then Rain hurting a lot. A shutdown on the Xinjiao even. The IK is still being popped. You have Renekton popping with the Dominus, but he still does not get taken down. Instead, Garen was the one that got bursted down. A 1-2 in favor though of BAL Esports.
Yeah, no jungler, no AD carry, -1 AD carry, it's only the Varus left, and now BAL is gonna start this Baron. It is going a little bit fast here as Victor will find out what's going on in the pit.
I thought he was gonna go and try the steal. I mean, I'm pretty hopeful. Even the Braum can take a Baron steal, but he will not press his luck. Looking back though, in that skirmish in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think it was because the Glacial Fissure was gone, meaning the disengage is gone, meaning the very low mobile AD carries such as, such as this Varus, and if the Valkyrie has been used, meaning it's go time for BAL to keep going, to keep chasing, no fear whatsoever. That really nice piercing arrow from Prince, though, is able to snipe someone down, at least able to get an exchange kill. Now BAL look at Savage, he's in too deep.
Savage has his eyes on this Kaisa. That's not gonna come through, but that is to be a lot of damage being taken by the jungler. Kaisa instead was the one that got the kill, and after seeing that unsuccessful pickoff, BKR, they decided to just stay under turret Garen the front line. Renekton split pushing in the Baron lane. You have Diana making her way into the mid lane, or she will most likely focus on the turret, but now BAL Esports being able to get another turret. No more outer towers. Turrets for the mid lane and the Dragon lane. Corki forced to use the, of course, Valkyrie. A shutdown on this Kaisa. Varus being bursted down. Now you have Garen jumping in with the judgment, but here comes BAL Esports. They still want to put the pressure onto BKR. Corki jumping in. You still have a pretty healthy Gandalf, was able to pop the Zonius right on time, but now Garen with the passive front. You have the overstay for BAL Esports, and now Nami as well as Garen forced to jump back. Tidal Wave is gonna come through. They are very, very low. I mean, they could still jump at this, but there's no other resources. Flashes have been has been used rather, and Xinjiao can't actually reach them just yet.
Yeah, 9k gold lead after all that chaos. It is the base of BKR open for the taking. BKR at least would want to get this Mountain Drake as this opportunity has been opened, as BAL pretty much overstayed their welcome, but at the end of the day, they are still pretty much successful. This dive onto the base was so good because Gandalf pretty much just eliminated the squishies first, basically ignoring Sector at the moment, leaving that to the hands of Knight here as on that Garen. And really nice package though to stop Gandalf's retreat. But again, I have to say it, the base is still pretty much open, so the value of the Baron buff has been maximized.
Now you have a very quick skirmish here at the jungle lane side. I did see Kaisa target Varus there, but the kill has not been secured. However, BAL Esports, they are trying to square in BKR. That is going to be a jump in right on Shinja's face. Glacial Fisher connecting onto one. Winter's Bite will come through as well, but BAL, they don't care. They want to just focus on playing the objective game. The base is now basically bare for BKR side. Now you have Renekton at the front line. That is going to be a possible jump in for BAL Esports, but you have the Aqua Prison jumping in. Tidal Wave has been used as well just to try and separate these two teams. BKR still pretty healthy, and Baron will be up in 11 seconds. So BAL, maybe they want to get the purple worm first before they decide to go with another fight.
Yeah, they can try to take a pick first before pursuing this, force it into a 4v5. You can see that Knight is lingering around.
Beautiful jump in for the side of BAL Esports. Now you have Corki at the back line. Is the ultimate coming through for Garen. Continuously going over to Corki. You're next and focus onto one champion, but you have a 2v1 right there. Nami saying goodbye. A rampage at Corki. Gatling on being used as well. Now you have another Zonas coming through. Will it be enough? That is the minion wave because triple kill going over to Corki. Minions is right there. They need to clear this out quickly, but overall that was a 2-4 in favor of BKR.
Yeah, that is a wipe from BAL. Knight's still alive, but the minion waves from mid at bot and bot rather have managed to do so much damage onto the Nexus. It all started here. Look at Knight. His positioning very sneaky. He's just gonna activate a silence in. As we can see that unfortunately the Varus is pretty much low. Prince was forced to use a Zonius Hourglass, but we can see that the fight is a little bit scattered. There was a bunch of half fights here. Katse didn't have anyone else to peel for him. Knight decides to just tap out of the fight because basically they lost. Triple kill for the Corki, so that is massive. Guardian Angel already attained. Package picked up by Shikimori, so that means they can try to find opportunities where they can utilize that, possibly towards the Baron.
Looks like they are making their way into the Baron pit side, but if you're gonna look at the turret takedowns, they were only able to get one turret from BAL Esports side, whereas BAL was able to get 8. Wukong jumping out with the clone, but now you have the missiles, just the guns, the bullets being thrown out by Corki, and the Void Seeker will be sent out just to see if they can spot someone, and they did. Renekton's positioning has been shown. You have the pings coming through at the jungle lane. They could wait for the win. That is gonna be another tidal wave plus the bubble connecting, but Renekton was able to use his ultimate ability enough to easily coming through from BAL Esports. Now you have the such damage coming through from the red team side. Now you have Kaisa with the GA still pretty available. Now you have a flash out coming through from Diana, but it's not going to be enough because she gets bursted down. Shinjo saying goodbye, and so far it is a 1-to-1 trade. They could still go at this. Judgment coming through for Garen. He does get stunned, but he does not care. What a beautiful offer person from this Nami. Ikeith and Rain being sent out was able to pop the GA. They could secure the kill. A flash out from Corki, but the chase is not gonna stop. We have the Unbreakable coming through. Was able to pass the tidal wave. Now they're gonna jump in right. Still they are gonna flash in. Jump in. Rom saying goodbye. Just this Garen at the front line with the Judgment again. Now you have the ultimate coming through, piercing through their heart, and BAL Esports being able to bag game number 1.
Yeah, piercing through their heart, piercing through game number 1. And that seemed like it was, BK Rog slowly picking up with the pace. They were able to sort of win that 5v5, but it doesn't change the fact that Katse from BAL was pretty humongous, and it was him. As long as he's safe in the back line, as long as he's still able to survive, they can still turn around fights like just as we witnessed in that game.
That is true. Also, towards the latter parts of that game, they could have done something about this, but the blue team rather could have won this. But the problem was red team, they just had this humongous lead, and in that last clash, it was if I'm not to use this term, a audition team fight. The champions falling down one by one, and you could see the red team, okay, I got this one. Now let's go over to this one. They're just picking their targets. Even though they did try to fall off, they just used all of their resources, their flashes, their barriers. The moment tidal wave was available for Nami, the slows just helped so much. So that was a very intense game number one. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Yeah, it's this the fight that we just witnessed earlier. It was basically what do you call this? It was basically a prolonged fight in the mid lane. But take note, look at the minion wave. They're slowly building up. So what BAL had to do was basically buy time. They all had to do buy time, and with that, they basically had Katse very safe in the back line. We got Shikimori in a very awkward spot actually. So he was pretty much close to the fight just because he wants to deal as much rockets as they can. But take note, BAL's mission is to prolong the mid lane. If they prolong the mid lane, the minion waves can just slowly seep in to the base and cause panic for BKR. And it worked wonders for them. And I think that was the game-winning formula or the game-ending formula.
And the game-ending formula for me too was the smiley that you just put on the drawing board. But yes, the minion waves pushing it just became a problem for them. So even though they could have gotten the mid lane turret, they decided to just not risk it. So let's see what kind of adjustments will they do. Are we gonna see a game number 3 or are we gonna see a 2-0? I am very much excited. So let's take another look at the team rosters. BAL really showing us what is up. That control from the early up until the late game, even though BKR had moments that they did shine. Looks like they still want to assert dominance. But we did see how this team played yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, I'm actually looking forward to seeing a 1-1 for this series. But still, let's see what kind of adjustments will they do. Are they still gonna ban out Gragas? Olaf, will we see another Shinjao? Let's take a look at the pick and ban.
Well, that is the question. Will we see an Olaf this time around, or an Olaf Unleashed? I feel like, the earlier game was, Katse, very amazing on that Kaisa. And Gandalf as well, such a good Diana into the Cyclone. But BAL removing initially the disengage. So possibly they could opt for an Assassin once more, perhaps. Or maybe the 1-3-1 that we saw from BKR. Fiora getting taken out of the equation, possibly targeted against Sector, perhaps. Maybe. BKR still banning out that Darius, meaning that we could possibly see another Renekton pick at topside.
Maybe, and I'm actually having a little game with myself. Are we gonna see another Garen? Let's see. Corki will be banned out though. Ziggs is open. Shinjao is open. Camille got banned out. Akali is open though. If any of these teams want to pick that up. Pantheon, how can I forget he was banned in game number 1? He's now open, and BAL got their hands on this champion.
Yeah, I really like this pick, especially, again, having to get the side lanes, or rather create impact to the side lanes, be able to get that backline access as well. If BKR, they're looking to assemble again. If you lock into Wukong, usually you expect a Diana pick that will come after. Now, BAL opting for this Varus pick as well. They're looking into stun from the Pantheon into the Chain of Corruptions, into the bubble. So there's a lot of CC lock going on in BAL's composition.
Mostly single target, at least from the first 3 champions that we saw. BKR, they will now release the Senna and the Olaf. So really looking forward to seeing how he will perform in the jungle lane, because most likely that is going to be a Wukong in the jungle. Shinja will still find his way into the lineup of BAL. On top of that, they finish it off with an Ari, another single target CC. So BAL, they want to have these 1v2s or 1v3s. They want to go with the pickoffs.
Yeah, the early skirmishes, mainly a top side, is incredibly strong. Level 3 is an very strong power spike for the side of BAL. And for BKR, they have a lot again of the Wombo combos. They do have the Olaf as well into the equation. So we're looking at maybe an Olaf top, maybe a Wukong in the jungle. We'll have to see.
We will have to see as well. So you guys saw the matchups, the adjustments for our game number 2. To the supporters of these two teams, do not forget to share the stream, comment some motivational words, or cheer them on because we're gonna hop into game number 2. Ready. So I really like the Ari pick. Can I just say, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing a lot of good Ari plays in the Origin series for the month of August, aside from the Akali plays that we actually even saw in series number 1. But now BKR, they're pissed. They're mad. They really want to push this to game number 3. And as you can see, you have 2 champions into the mid lane. Olaf will just get some EXP and then rotate back to the Baron lane. Orb Obsession has been used, and now Olaf, I think he just tried to scare Ari a bit there, but now he is just gonna go back to his actual opponent, Pantheon.
Yeah, this is there's 2 things, right? It's for you to make sure you get priority immediately for Shikimori in the mid lane, because again, level 3 power spike, Gandalf, pretty much everybody else involved in the BAL composition is incredibly strong. Also, you mentioned being able to soak down early experience, meaning you'll get to level 2 first, and that's most likely what we saw earlier in this 1v1 between Sector and Knight. And this time around, level 3 will be very, very important. Getting priority as well will be very important for BAL, for them to use the level 3 spikes that we mentioned earlier. A lot of single target. You got the stuns, you got the charm from the Ari as well. Spec with a full kit with a knockup as well. So I feel like this is the win condition so far, at least for the early game for BAL.
They just need to survive and get the advantage in the early game and then translate it into the late game. But for BKR, they are all about the late game. I mean, look at that. Olaf, Ziggs, and especially Ezreal. I can't stress the late game on this champion enough. So BAL just needs to balance this out and try to end the game maybe around the 12 or 13-ish minute mark, just to make sure that BKR will not storm into their nexus. But now jumping back into 2 minutes under game number 2, Olaf was able to push Pantheon back. And, well, Knight still, of course, he will just have to wait for level 5s before he can make things happen. He needs a global ult to actually try and have a duel up against this Olaf.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. He needs to have priority to utilize level 5 in his lane, to utilize the Grand Starfall to create impact in the other parts of the map. And again, level 5-wise, of course, Olaf will definitely win, because the tools that Knight has on level 5 is definitely more on that utility versus the dual potential that Sector has. The stun will not connect to Sector in a 1v1 scenario. But it could be a 2v2 scenario if you involve your junglers, and we are seeing a lane gank possibly from Savage.
He is just waiting at the bush, but okay, I think I actually thought it was gonna be a 2v2, but the jungler said, okay, you guys are Baron laners, I'm gonna fend you off yourselves. You know what to do. Fear of the Goddess being picked up by Ziggs, though. Still yet to see who will be able to scale first for the mid laners. Senna just coming in with the heals, making sure that her ADC is pretty safe. Now you have the stuns that did come through, but there is no actual jump-ins or pickups just yet. Ari, though, Gandalf, making her way down into the Dragon Lane side. They could try and go with the turret that is suddenly connecting on to no one. You have a jump-in from this Shinja as well. Now the other members of BKR decides to join the party, ready to be able to get first blood. Now Senna sending out your ultimate. Nami saying goodbye. That is gonna be the stuns coming through. Double kill going over to Wukong, and overall it was a 2-0 in the favor of BKR. Right in time, just in time for the Infernal Drake.
You have 20 seconds on the clock. I feel like everybody can make it to this dragon, but the thing is, that was so unfortunate because it looked pretty good on paper, that attempt from BAL, as we take a look at that again, because the Chain of Corruption missed, the Tidal Wave unfortunately missed, so at that point, you ran out of disengage options. You're going to get sandwiched by Shikimori, you're going to get sandwiched by Savage with a Cyclone, so after that, it's them overcommitting without the important ults connecting.
Nami, okay, we'll just use that speed boost on to herself. And Varus again, early game, quiet champion will just farm. Both teams has their eyes on the Infernal Drake, even that just want to get more damage in. Ziggs does have the Mega Inferno Bomb, so BKR has another way of stealing a possible objective that is to be the Ragnarok coming through from Olaf. Jump in again. That's the Mega Inferno Bomb being thrown out at the perfect time. But Pantheon was able to even up the trade. Now BKR, they have their eyes on this dragon. Nami, Varus, as well as Ari lurking to the side. Spec, the jungler is nowhere there.
Starfall?
Now you have the chain of corruption as well as the Starfall being popped right there. Ezreal saying goodbye. Now you have Varus leaving the back line. Senna being taken down. Ziggs forced disengage, and it was a win for BAL.
And you'd think that BKR could be very confident in these fights, especially that they're able to get the double kill coming from Savage. But again, it is BAL was able to get those early picks. Really nice Grand Skyfall once more. Again, take note, the Starfall coming from the Pantheon does have passive of the armor penetration. So I think it holds such a huge value, especially when you're up against such as a Wukong, and as well as possibly, especially later on, with the Olaf. A fight though.
Protocol has been used
There.
by Pantheon, but wait, Ziggs. Okay, Blast Cone into safety, too close for comfort,
Oh.
but the bomb has been used. Okay, now, even Steven, both has the last bar into their life, but Ziggs was able to get his hands on the honey fruit or being thrown out by Ari. Just a small
Oh.
bouncing bombs here and there. Charm is not going to be enough. Apparently, he missed
There's
the
one more Spirit
orb.
Rush.
That was too close, but here comes Pantheon. Jumping
Choose
in.
a barrage.
Choose a barrage
No.
being sent out. Tidler being sent out as well. Killing spree going over to
Nice.
Pantheon. Ziggs being bursted down, but Wukong was able to annihilate Pantheon as well. Now you have Nami the back line. BKR forced to disengage. Wukong
Cariban
very,
wants the
very
kill.
low. This could be the Rift Herald going over to BAL.
Yeah, the jungler is pretty low. Oh, he was able to survive because of that honey fruit as well. I feel like Cariban can smell blood. He wanted that kill as well. It was just pretty much one ebb and flow, I think, for that kill secure.
Yes.
But BAL is able to get this Rift Herald, create space. Again, it's all thanks to Gandalf with that really beautiful charm as he found Shikimori all alone and isolated from the rest of the squad. And again, that just did wonders. It basically opened up the opportunity for BAL to contest this Rift Herald. Trisha Barrage may not hit, but doesn't change the fact that they were able to eliminate the mid laner.
I was actually about to say that there was no Spirit Rush, so Ari was just forced to jump away in that fight, even though Ziggs was a very, very juicy target. And if Ezreal just tilted the Trisha Barrage a bit to the left, could have gotten the kill, but it's okay, at least they were able to damage the Rift Herald. Now BKR back to their default. Ziggs is at the Baron lane though. Now you have Olaf. We have a switcheroo actually. Olaf is down the Jaguar lane side. You have the Jaguar lane duos into the mid lane. He does have Ragnarok. He also has Wukong lurking at the back lines. But I don't think they are gonna try and pick a fight
I think
here
they saw
just
him.
yet. They want to.
No.
No. The stuns coming through. Now here comes Wukong. He does have Cyclone, but I don't think he's gonna commit just yet. They want to get the feud. They want to get that turret. Rather, Undertow has been used, and BKR, they do not want to overstay the welcome. They do see Nami, they do see Xinjiao, and they're just gonna fall back.
Yeah, it was pretty far into the tower already, so BKR didn't have much leeway to force that gank. And in the meantime, First Blood Tower is still up for grabs, and I feel like the closest one to fall down is bottom lane. And that's the reason why we get to see Sector still continuing to push, but at the same time, Skyfall, or rather, the Pantheon is still there. There's the charge in, and First Blood Tower will go in favor of BAL. Oh wait, hold that thought. Not yet. No,
Wait, are they gonna
87.
defend? Nope. Okay, that was too close. I thought they were gonna get first blood turret. Now that I see the Mega Inferno bomb being thrown out, no follow-ups, no wave as well. So BAL will just force to back away. Two turrets that almost got taken down. Almost is never enough. Now the orb has been sent out. Waves are gone. The explosive minefield has been used as well as the bouncing bombs. No one actually committing the fights just yet. They just want to play the objective game. The moment they see someone in front of them, they fall back. Now Dragon is gonna be up in 20 seconds, and I guess BKR would want to get their hands on this.
Yeah, that's the thing about BK Rog's roster, or composition rather. They're still waiting for the Ezreal to get 2 items, at least having the Muramana fully stacked and the Trinity Force. And now for Shikimori as well, they're opting for that, Rabadon's at least for the 3rd item, for the bombs to really, really deal a lot of impact. And BKR, meaning that they have to wait a little bit more.
That is going to be the Aegis Assault currently onto Olaf 1v3. Forced to use Ragnarok, still has the Honey Fruit, and Olaf was able to survive that one. He is A-okay. Now, BAL being able to push the Baron laner from BKR away, they would have first dibs onto this dragon, but BKR, they will try to go with the contest. Stuns are not gonna come through. Piercing arrow, oof, that hurts. That is gonna be Senna, but here comes Pantheon jumping in currently on the tidal wave. You have the ultimates coming through, but they just want to give space or have space against BAL. Pantheon is gonna be the first one to get taken down. Now you have BKR, Ezreal for the back line, Cyclone coming through from Wukong, and that is gonna be a re-engage, but it's not gonna be enough. Nami being bursted down, going over to Wukong. Now you have
double kill.
ADC still alive, double kill going over to him. Gandalf on the next target, make that a triple kill. It was a 3-2 in favor of BKR, but they are not gonna stop anytime soon. Xin Zhao is right there. They could just retreat or they could just try and contest, but I guess BKR, they want to play it safely. Ezreal, he has enough damage, so they're just gonna fall back.
Yeah, it's a little bit too risky. They wouldn't really finish the dragon in time, and the reset is just going to happen in favor of BKR. Let's take a look at that again. I think the reason why BAL lost this team fight is that they came in 1-by-1. The Mega Inferno Bomb, the True Shot Barrage, basically hit spec all in all, and it left Knight to his own demise, and it was a 1v4, 1v5 situation, and Gandalf really took a while to join the fight, using a stack of 2 Spirit Rushes to get close into the fight. And that is damage lost for the entirety of that fight as well. But at the end of the day, Savage gets triple kill. That means he's going to be a very scary Wukong. Now, Dragon has started once more.
Charmis can connect onto one. Now you have Pantheon jumping in with the ultimate, but did not connect onto anyone. Wukong still has the GA reaction, being able to get Cloud Dragon, and then they fall back again. I was expecting a fight, but no. BKR, they want to play this conservatively. 7-7 on the scoreboard. The lead, though, is still in favor of BAL, but could go either way. BKR, they just need to take down 3 or 4 champions in the next flash before they can get the lead.
Yeah, it's still a 1k gold difference in favor of BAL. So far, the kills have went to Knight. And that has been very important. That is the reason why he will definitely go in first. Find the backline. Have that backline access. Especially this is a double poke composition rather, coming from Prince and Shikimori. And with that, again, in the 5v5 scenario, of course, BKR will be more comfortable in the dragon, or rather objective fights. For BAL, they want to separate the fight. They want to make sure that your formation is broken. And this will heavily rely on Knight once more, heavily rely on the Chain of Corruptions and the Charms, and all the Chain CC, single target CC more importantly, that will fall from BAL.
Treasure Barrage already has been sent out, as well as the ultimate coming in from Senna. Now you have Ari. She did not use Spirit Rush just yet, but was able to evade this Wukong SCB. The Charms connecting, but Wukong was able to get away with his ult. Now damage are going to come through for the side of BAL, but here comes the initiate from BKR. He's being boxed in. Will Savage be able to secure the SCB? The ultimate coming through from Pantheon, as well as the tidal wave. Ezreal saying goodbye. Now you have Ziggs in the back line, was able to throw out the Mega Inferno Bomb. Varus being bursted down. Now you have the Charms coming through from Olaf, but he does not have Ragnarok. At the very least, he was able to survive the burst from this fox.
Yeah, that's a Ragnarok expiring, and right on time, Gandalf was able to get a charm on the board. But at the same time, I think Spirit Rush already used, they were gonna lack a little bit of damage. Gariban pretty much didn't have any mana at that fight anymore. So BAL still being able to win that skirmish there as we get to see 2K gold lead for BAL still. But looking at the replay, it all started with the re-engage coming from BKR. They knew that Gandalf already used the Spirit Rush, Forced didn't have much cooldowns, and that gave them the go signal to basically engage. And the Nami, really nice tidal wave there, able to reach and delete that Ezreal off the board, and more extra kills for the Ari, more extra kills for the Knight.
Very close game so far, 9-8. But now, both teams actually both of them are on the hunt. Olaf is safe at the back line. He also was able to get his hands on this GA, so he has a bit of more luxury to just soak in on the damage. Maybe even get charmed by Gandalf. I actually see Katze picking up the Zhonya's Hourglass there, as well as the Bork coming through for Knight. More damage for him, more safety for Varus. If ever BKR will just try and penetrate the back lines, Explosive Minefield being sent out by Ziggs yet again. Charm is not going to connect. Baron is still up. Bishop Barrage has been sent out by Ezreal. A bit of an ouch for Nami, but she still has that heal. And again, no one is pulling the trigger. But BKR, they are grouped together. This 4-1 setup, they want to give space to Olaf.
Yeah, they are preparing for the next dragon to spawn on this Ocean Drake. But just as you mentioned, look at that. Two Protobelts rather on the side of Gandalf and as well as Knight. This means Protobelt into the Charm, Protobelt into the stuns as well, coming from the Pantheon. And Ikatse, I mean, he did manage to get the Cerildis. Again, I talked about this before. It's kind of like having a Nash on your team. Providing utility for the slow means if you have the slow, you have a bigger chance in landing those CC skill shots.
Speaking of landing, that is gonna be the Mega Inferno bomb landing plus the Tuition Barrage. Okay, Dragon Lane duo, you gotta say goodbye unless you want to die now. You have Ari disengaging as well. The satchel being thrown out by Ziggs. BKR being able to just zone them out. Shinjo does get spotted out. And it will be a possible Drake going over to the red team. But of course, BAL, you still have Pantheon. He still has the ultimate red team being able to secure the Ocean Dragon. Now they could pick a fight. Now you have jump in coming through from Shinjo, plus the ultimate coming in from Senna. Jump in. Pantheon popping in with the ultimate, but Wukong still says goodbye. A shutdown on the jungler. Now you have BAL disengaging. Olaf saying goodbye as well. So far, 2 kills going over to BAL, and they do not want to stop anytime soon. Shinjo on the front line. Minefield being sent out. The BKR, they're just sticking together.
Yeah, they're pretty much happy about getting the 2 frontliners of BKR there, but they still cannot pursue because they ran out of ult. He ults to pursue the backline. Look at that! He flashed in!
Oh no! Lost the shadow charge, and okay, that was the finisher. That is gonna be the Mega Inferno bomb being sent out as well. That was too close for comfort for this RE. BKR, they are storming into the mid lane. They are very, very low, whereas their enemies are very, very low, whereas they are very healthy. This could be their leeway to get Lord. I mean, you have the ADC plus support, but I don't think that is gonna be enough.
I love the
that was so cute.
Oh dear. It all started in this dragon fight again. It was Xin Zhao basically spec, zoning everything from BK Rog. Therefore, BAL can just focus on the front line that was left all. Again, this is how they are supposed to fight. You divide the fight, the formation of BU, but you don't have reach, you don't have Spirit Rush, you don't have the Proto Belt to the stuns anymore, you don't have heavy engage. This is Knight went to the minefield for the slow, so he didn't have enough push range to get to the and another fight in the mid lane.
Another fight, they really want to go at this. Nami saying goodbye now. You have Varus being taken down by Senna. Look at he is safe on the back line. Now that is going to be Pantheon forced to jump away. You have Gandalf at the side. They get the steal at the very least. But I don't think BKR will let go of this Baron very quickly. Now just want to play to their safety. Pantheon at the Dragon Lane side. Satchel coming through. You also have the mines as well as the bouncing bombs. That is going to be the charm connecting. Baron just spitting out some damage. Red team still being able to get the Baron Nashor. 18 minutes in. BKR, this is their time.
Yeah, this is the replay. The fight to see earlier fully as we, again, this is a fight BAL was not prepared for. Knight wasn't around. Gandalf was, again, this is a composition that needs to start their fights, needs to take control from start to finish. If BKR catches them off guard, they have no leave unless they have the tidal wave in. But all there is basically go in and no way out.
Oh, speaking of no way out, now you have Olaf trying to juggle this 2v1, 3v1, and he is still alive. Here comes Wukong. He still has the Cyclone. BAL, they could have, but no, they will just fall back because Ezreal is storming the mid lane. They do not want to let go of another mid lane. 1-4 formation for the side of BKR will have their eyes on this mid lane turret that is gonna say goodbye. Now, one last them to be able to seal this game out, but BAL, they can still get with one good cleanup from their side. Is going to be the focus on power. They want to just turtle this one out after getting a lot of turrets. They could fall back, but Ezreal is going to throw
The
throw out
charm.
the two-shot barrage. Charm is going to connect onto this Wukong. He still has GA. A fresh wave of Baron buff midway into the Dragon side. That wave is going to connect onto two. BAL could jump in. That is going to be the clone being used by Wukong to be able to survive that one. The bubbles being thrown out by Nami.
What
The Mega
damage?
Inferno Bomb literally burst away into the map. Elder Mountain Dragon has been already spawned, but they don't care. They were able to get in jungle, able to get game number 2 and push the series to a game number 3.
We are heading into a game number 3. What was that fight? What was that match from BKR? They were very patient. They took a great control of the game. Especially, they just waited for the Ezreal. They waited for the Ziggs to get their power spikes, getting that Rabadons, getting that 2-item power spike from the Ezreal and Viola. As long as they're safe in the back line, they are gonna be fine in the 5v5s.
We mentioned this 14, 15, 16-minute mark. BAL needs to close out the game because 16 minutes onwards, it's definitely the game for their team, and they just were able to pull off this draft phenomenally. So I believe you have something here for us, Riku.
Yeah, I feel like we have the highlights kicking in, rolling in as we get to take a look at that again, because this I think this first one was the tone setter for BAL. After the unfortunate tidal wave into the chain of corruption missing and them getting collapsed upon and getting punished by the rest of BKR, it just basically felt like a premonition of what was to happen afterwards. They did have a lot of these game-winning fights, like the dragon over here, or the next dragon rather. But at the same time, they were in a ticking time. Had to finish the game before the power spikes of the Ziggs, the power spike of the Ezreal, or else they wouldn't have any answer versus a utility that the Varus provides for the team.
I actually want to see the highlight in the last few minutes or last few seconds of the game, wherein one Mega Inferno Bomb was just enough to erase Nami into the map. But now, to be fair, Nami was able to send out a lot of very good tidal waves. They were able to layer their CCs perfectly. But into the 7-minute mark, I guess, BKR's damage was just too much, and them being able to group together, it just spelled the V in the victory.
Yeah, the composition of BAL is just them having to dictate the pace, dictate the fights rather. It's them having the team fight. And while we did see that happen here and there, it felt like it was already too late. The Ziggs was always pretty much alive. There's just a ton of damage. The True-Shot Barrage and the Mega Inferno Bomb combo is just too massive to deal with. Even though you have sustain, it's still not going to be enough.
It's not going to be enough in the end. I guess this was it. The Inferno Bomb. And see, right there, Nami, goodbye. And you also have, I actually would like to highlight the fact that Senna was able to position herself perfectly in the back line. The heals, damage, and stunts would almost always connect, and a lot of things just went over to the side of BKR. Series number 2 looks like we will be seeing a game number 3. It was a nitty-gritty kind of game, but after that, BKR was able to make it out of there alive. So without further ado, I know you guys are excited. Who will win? Who will get that 2 in the 2-1? So let's hop into game number 3. Will we see another Ezreal? Will we see another Xin Zhao? Will we see a crazy Olaf just storming right at our faces? These questions will be answered by our teams in this game number 3. So what do you think could be the adjustments, not just for BKR but also for BAL?
For BKR, I really like this heavy poke composition. I feel like could be potentially their strength. It felt like there was no answer. BAL seemed like they were collapsing at the beginning with their engages. So maybe we get to see another poke from BAL, or rather from BKR.
More pokes for the composition. I actually like that. So let's take a look into the pick and ban phase. Alright, so more pokes available into the pool, of course. Maybe they could ban out Pantheon this time around if they want to. I'm still gonna be expecting a Camille ban, and that did come through. Ziggs ban, please. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Yeah, BAL should definitely ban out Zig since they're on red side. Unless they want to pick something different, they're confident. Maybe right now BKR probably opting again for a possible Renekton pick, or that's not a respect ban. But BAL, look at them! A respect ban on towards the Ziggs. So Ezreal can still be available, but the deadly Ziggs plus Ezreal combo is no more. But that means Corki will be open in this series.
Pantheon being banned as well. Shin Zhao is open, and Lee Sin is open if they want to get that. Wukong is open, and BKR will just prio pick that champion.
It is going to be a Diana for sure for BKR, most likely, but that means they've given up the Wukong versus the Corki first pick, perhaps. So BAL, we'll see what they want to top this into. The tidal wave plus the Corki is just really good. The movement speed will allow you to keep chasing, will allow more of the rockets to keep landing as well. Fiora! Now getting picked up. It's going to be the top side Fiora for sure. It's been a while since we've seen this one. So we're not going to be seeing the usual Camille Fiora matchup perhaps. But utility back on BKR. Look at BAL. They decided, okay, we don't want the Diana Wukong combo to be on one side. Now BAL should pick up the Jarvan Galio. But since the Diana has already been picked up, the Jarvan has already been picked up, then I suppose they're still lacking their top lane. I wonder what they finish this off with. Maybe a Renekton perhaps?
Renekton? I mean, that is available. Oh, okay. That is to be wait. Who is going where? Wukong will most likely go over to the jungle. Now you have a mid lane Orianna, Fiora at the Baron lane, and then Varus, and then Senna in the jungle lane. Okay, but we saw this is series number 1. Malphite.
That's true.
So let's see if BAL will be able to pull this one off. So the Orianna pick caught me off guard there. I was expecting a different champion, but it's all good. We are back. So again, we are gonna hop into game number 3 to see what will happen with this action.
I said a lot of yeses there. I think it's because I'm so excited to see how this is going to pan out. Mainly the BAL delivery system. It's been a while since we've seen this combo, I suppose. Wukong, I mentioned, very confident. Yes, the Diana, but it's been stolen by BAL. So now the Wukong is going to serve as the number 1 BAL delivery boy, as the big shockwaves could potentially come in. With the Infernal Drake being the first dragon of the game, both of these teams would definitely want that to happen. I like how both of the composition that we're seeing right now is more on that 5v5 setup, but BKR leaning more towards the 4-1 setup, with Sector again here enabling as the Fiora on that 1v1, or rather the split push. The thing about the level 1 matchup with a Malphite is absolutely very tough, because Sector can just keep dashing in, get the vital points. So Knight will be forced to just play reservedly, especially up until level 5. Once level 5 comes, repellable to cancel out the Malphite ult. So that is a huge thing. And Sector will definitely win this lane.
He will have the upper hand indeed. And right now, as you can see, right on your prediction, the minion wave is pouring in, but he has quite slow wave clear as well. He will just take his time, whereas Sector will just constantly pressure him into the lane. Now the jungle lane side, that is maybe the Gatling gun being used by Corki to clear the wave, and still for the sustain for the enchanter support, they will have to wait for their level 5 before they want to do anything or pull anything off. You have J4 still lurking. He does have his eyes rather into the Rift Scuttler. Diana against the Orianna. I like the AoE ultimates here for our mid laner, so Like a lot of 5v5s later on, maybe once they reach level 5 or level 6.
Yeah, level 5 is definitely the way to go. Into Moonfall, into the Unstoppable Force. Whoever gets caught out or caught up in that sequence will immediately die. The fact that BKR has a pretty much squishy composition means that BAL has a lot of targets to choose from. Mainly Prince, because it's pretty much low mobile champion, and you're paired up with a Senna. So it's not the same as having a Varus Nami setup where you compensate your low mobility with movement speed. Basically, we get to see the Senna at least would come up with the heals, the shield, and as well as the root as the form of peeling.
Now jumping to Dragon side, Senna making sure that Corky as well as Nami will be nowhere near them. Now, both actually, these 2v2s, they have a book, especially the supports in the earlier parts of the game. They will just baby their ADCs. No ganks from the junglers again so far. They're just gonna focus on clearing out buff. No invades as well. The only ever fight or intense 1v1s we see so far is between the Fiora as well as the Malphite being used by this Fiora, and now Knight again defaulting back into clearing out the waves.
Yeah, there's nothing really a lot that Malphite can do because, again, Knight will have to wait for the 5v5s for him to shine with the setups on the Unstoppable Force. And I feel like the first instance where they can put this into application is the Infernal Drake. All of the teams, both of the teams, will want to contest that one. Massive damage, boost, buff for the whole squad. So we'll see in the next 26 seconds whether or not BKR can set up the shockwave plays along with a cyclone, or will get a good setup with the layering of CCs that we just.
A bit of a damage there being taken by Diana in the mid lane. She already had the Roa available. So now see a bit of a movement from the side of BKR. You have the Wukong just jumping in and out of the Rift Herald already up, as well as the Infernal Drake. Now, blue team, they are in the position Dragon. Unless they would want to get their hands on the Rift Herald, Fiora will still hold their ground into the Baron lane. They want to stick with this 4-1 setup. Let Fiora do what eventually she will be able to catch up and then be in charge of cleanup. Now, BAL, they have on this dragon, whereas BKR, let's not take dragon, let's go with the Rift Herald. We want to get that first blood turret and maybe the first blood. Diana, though, still behind the Rift Herald spit, and that is gonna be the Herald and the Infernal Dragon rather, and the Rift Herald going over to BKR. But looking now at Dragon lane side, you have the jump in coming through from this Diana. Diana will not be able to use the Moonfall, but looking at Dragon lane side, but this Dragon lane turret that is going to be out of that virus. He does not have the support anywhere near him. Ariana does have the shockwave. Let's see if he will be able to use that. Let's see this Savage jumping in. You have the Cat that is going to be coming through. Corky saying goodbye. Blue team being able to get that first, but you have the shockwave coming through. And BAL will just engage. But BKR, they still want to keep the pressure going. It has been someone on the Dragon lane side. Diana will be nowhere near the turret for the Dragon.
That is an overextended fight, I suppose. I felt like Kadze really wanted that kill. He was pretty much very far forward in the lane. And let's take a look at that final kill again. It was just basically the flash cataclysm. Can't really monkey there and just head straight for the goal and eliminated the 80 carry of BAL. And again, BKR, I really love the decision making here. They decided to just give up the Rift, or rather the Infernal Drake, because the better team fight on BAL's side with all the flaring of those 3 CCs on top of the tidal wave. Look at though, he's sneaking around here against Sector Cataclysm as he used it earlier in the dual lane.
He doesn't have it. He did use the flag, but the Jag will not. But it's gonna be Malphite trying to go up against this Fiora. He is just gonna reserve the ultimate for team fight in the latter parts of the game. And now both decided to disengage. But as you can see, BAL as well as the BKR, they have a few wards placed in the Rift Herald's pit. Senna making her way back into the Dragon lane side. Diana is alone there, but she will still be followed by Orianna. Lane swaps is already happening. 6 men. J4 is still inside, but you have Fiora just have for life, just jumping in with the pokes against Malphite. But J4 could make their way up Jack into the Baron, and that is going to be the flanking Jack connecting onto no one. Senna being able to send out her ultimate will be right there. Now you have J4 with the pokes, but BAL, they do not want to overstay this. So they will just stay on the turret. J4 with the recall. Repost has been used by, and I'm not sure if he's gonna jump in. I mean, he can if he wants to, but he needs to remember Wukong is there.
Yeah, maybe no, though, is another fight too. Yeah, this is just a little tease between the 2v2, the junglers and the top laners. This is exactly how BKR should play, just because, again, they want to keep making sure that they can isolate the they can take advantage of this Fiora as well. I mean, that is their decision. They wanted to get the Rift Herald first instead of the Infernal Drake, leave Sector in lane, and I feel like that is what they're playing around with. It's so far, it's 8 minutes into the game, and we've only got one kill, first blood in favor of BKR, and it seems to me BKR time a little bit. I mean, they can rely on Shikimori for the big shockwaves and the 4-1 setup, because at the end of the day, at a 4-1 BAL really doesn't have any answer for the split push.
Valkyrie are already being used by Corki there. Now, the recalls are going to come through. Still pretty scattered, thin into the map. Was able to push Malphite down on their turret. Now you have Savage as well as Victor line side. That is going to be the first blood turret going over to BKR, and Malphite had no other choice but to look at his turret fall down.
Yeah, the Malphite can't really do much in the 1v2 scenario. And now for BAL, they can't out. They can use the Baron as a big bait. Again, their 5v5s are massive. You've got the package, you've got the tidal wave, you've got the big 3 layers of CC, Cataclysm, Moonfall, and then a force. And look at Savage, he's going in!
Has been used, and is even the red team being able to get that Mountain Drake. Here comes the fight though. Now you have the Shockwave coming through, but right after the fact that they saw BAL get the dragon, BKR, they jump back. They do not want to pick a fight further. They do not want to have some dead to their KDAs. But now Fiora will still get on into the barrel lane side. They are gonna fully commit onto this 4-1 setup. They are most probably waiting for Shikimori as well as the Varus to go online.
Yeah, that's for Varus. I feel like we've seen a lot of these utility-focused Varuses and big piercing arrow, but it's not more it's going to be definitely a struggle if there's so many champions that will get on your face. Unstoppable Force will just pretty much head straight to the back line. Cataclysm with a gap closer, and with a flag and drag rather for Spec. So it's really difficult to land all those piercing shots, the pokes, when you know that BAL has pretty much a lot of tools on the board.
Board is right there, so the BAL has a bit of a vision. Now they could juggle this one, the flag and drag is gonna connect onto no one, but Savage immediately reveals himself. This is the signal for BAL to just fall back. Now still has that that is gonna be the Cataclysm connecting onto 1. You have the connecting onto 2. This is gonna be the fight that BAL would want to take. Senna saying goodbye. Now you have Savage trying to jump away. He will be able to Cyclone, but he just gets meted by this Corki double kill going over to Kakse. And with that small skirmish win, they will be able to get the Baron, but they need to be worried of this Fiora, of this Varus. Piercing Arrow is going to come through. Now you have Corki safe on the back line, who will be able to get the Baron. That is going to be the blue team being able to get Malphite. Red team securing this Baron. Senna sending out her ultimate. Now that is going to be Orianna fixing her eyes on this Nami. But at the back line, you have Gandalf just ultimately bursting down the Orianna.
Really nice decision coming from BAL. After getting a kill on the jungler, just head straight to the Baron. No fear, even though the carries of BKR are pretty much alive. It all started here in this replay. It was Savage constantly wanting to fight opportunities to get Sector ahead, but gets constantly punished with this collapse. The rest of BAL were pretty much all nearby, so it was an easy follow-up, and then to the Baron. And with BKR, again, having to wait for, again, Shikimori to come online to have massive shockwaves, but at the same time, BAL getting ahead, getting this Baron, and then we'll use this to siege.
Okay, that is NBA 2 champion route. BAL is just storming into the mid lane, 3-4 on the scoreboard. Goal lead though in favor of them. That is
Cataclysm!
the Cataclysm currently on to say now. That side the way, beautifully layered CCs. Oriana the first one to say goodbye. Senna being taken down. Killing spree going over to Corky. Varus saying goodbye. It is gonna be a 3-0 in favor of BAL. You have Fiora lurking at the sides. You also
No
have
way.
Wukong still up, but what could you do? BAL
Are they
is
gonna
knocking
end?
onto their base. They really want
They're
to
gonna
end
end.
the game. They are gonna focus. Grand Challenge already being popped, but they don't care. BAL is just focusing on to the Nexus. That is gonna be the kill going over to
One more
Fiora.
on attack.
A double kill, but they don't care again. BAL, they just want to get their hands onto the Nexus and able to win the game number 3. Thought they were gonna try to fight though, but again, even though J4 was very low, he was just hitting that Nexus.
Yeah, I love how they were relentless. They were not stopping at all. The fact that they catched again the rest of the team off guard from BKR Cataclysm. After that Cataclysm engage, it was GG.
It was very much GG, and yeah, I would want to see more of those fights. It was a very clean 5v5 fight, honestly. Fiora again was in charge of split push, so most of the time it was a 4v5 fights, and they would just take those trades, those fights any times of the day. So again, look into the highlights of that game.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy game. I mean, crazy, because when we look back at day 1, day 2, there was a lot of fighting. After replay, there would be another fight. But this time it was very different. 10 minutes into the game, only one kill. Only first blood happened. And basically, this event affected the entire game. And it was BAL getting the Baron, double kill on Takatse, said it really quickly, and then basically did the siege towards the mid lane. After getting the mid lane tower, they just basically went straight to the goal, just went straight to the Nexus. I think that's crazy.
That was a very good Cataclysm, by the way, and Tidal Wave. They could just not. The fact that Oriana was the first one to fall down, it just gave them all the more confidence to group together. There's no shockwave. Fiora, 1v5, yeah, you will be able to get 1 or 2 kills in, but you are bound to fall down right after that. That was a very beautiful series. 2-1, that is going to be in favor of BAL. We have been your casters. Yuko alongside Ms. Riku. We are gonna hop into a very short break. Origin series come back. We will have a series number 3.